I'm getting ready to save you so much time right now in Cakewalk because I'm going to show you some tips that you may never use, because sometimes I have never used them, but we're going to get right into it. This is a short tutorial. Let's do it. Things first, we're in Cakewalk and this is track view. So what we're going to do is just create an audio track and we're going to create an instrument track. I'm going to keep it on contact 7 for right now. It does not matter what type of sound you use, but I'm just going to use these 2 tracks for an example. I'm going to set my audio input to channel 1 because that is what I'm using right now on my Zoom Live L8. Okay, I'm going to pull up the clavinet for the contact. Once you have your sound selected, then you want to bring up the piano roll. Now you can go to Views and go to piano roll, which is Alt 3, or you can just double click in the pane on the track pane and then it will bring it up. Press Shift D and that will expand it all the way. Or you can press Shift D again to bring it down. So I just want to look at the track and the piano roll at the same time. So I'm going to put in some notes, but this is what I want to use. I want to use these shortcuts on my keyboard because they're going to correlate or respond to these settings that are at the top. Yours may look a little different. Right now I have my mode set on advanced for my workspace. So if your workspace doesn't look like this, then put it on advanced and then it'll look just like this. But you want to see smart is going to be F5, select is going to be F6, move is going to be F7, and F8 is going to be the edit tool. But most of these tools have multiple functions. So the edit tool has a few different functions. It has the stretch, it has the comping, it has the split tool, and it has the edit tool. All right. So you can switch between those whenever you need to change it. And then we have F9, which is the draw tool. And on F9, I can change it. It allows me to draw different shapes. And then the next one is F10, which is erase. And on the erase, I have mute and I have erase. So those are the 2 options. And then of course, here is your resolution. Set this if you want to get a specific resolution or type of rhythmic note. So like if I want to just deal with 8th notes, then I can set it on 8th notes. I'm going to press F5. I'm going to go back to my smart tool. And I'm going to just do something from the beginning. Make sure I'm back at the beginning. I'm just clicking. I can click. Okay, you can draw it longer. Okay, and then I can play that back. W, spacebar to play. Okay, all right, so the select tool will allow you to select every piece of data that is within the clip. So you have the MIDI notes, the envelope notes, transients, dragging. Okay, gives you a definition more so on the side. You can see it at the top, so you can look there where it says select tool. I don't really need to use the select tool, but the move tool will come in handy. So F7 is a move tool and it'll allow me to move it wherever. Now I could do the same thing with the smart tool, but it's just the smart tool has multiple functions. But if you just want to move stuff around, you can switch to F7 just to move the clips around. All right, I have a chord here. So now I can actually use the edit tool, which has a bunch of different options on it. So one part of the edit tool is going to allow you to adjust clips. Okay, so I can take the clips and I can drag them back and forth. If I press F8 again, then it's going to go into what's called the stretch tool. Now the stretch tool is going to work for audio or MIDI tracks. Basically, the stretch tool is going to work for audio and MIDI data. Now it won't work in the actual piano roll, but if I wanted to stretch this note, then all I have to do is just go up to the end of the clip and then stretch it all the way out, and then I can make this longer. Okay, or I can make it shorter. Comping tool is something that you use when you're comping tracks, whether you're comping a MIDI track or audio track, whichever. But for the most part, this works for audio tracks. So let me record something real quick and you can see what I mean. All right. Now, full disclaimer, you don't really need to use the comping tool here because you can use it in comping mode, period, anyway, as long as you have it set to record comping. So I have my record option set to comping. So let's record something. Okay, actually, first off, let me mute this other track because I do not want to hear that. All right, right now. Okay, so here we go. Everybody says. All right, I can do it again. Everybody says. Do it one more time. Everybody says. Now, I can go back and I can look at each of these and I can listen to them to see what they sound like. But this particular tool is going to allow me to chop it up, basically. So if I want to drag right there, drag right here, and let's say I want to drag that last part. All right, then I can play it together. Next option that we have is the cut or the split tool. Now the split tool is definitely going to come in handy because anytime that I need to split something, then I can just do that. And sometimes when I have to do split, I have to press S. Now you can do S, you know, to split it that way, but this comes in handy if you have it already set. So maybe you don't want to use the other options. You just want to go up here and split it like that. So definitely use that tool. That will come in handy so much. All right, now let's go to some fun stuff. Draw freehand is the first option, and this is F9. F9 has multiple different options, but we're going to start with the draw freehand. You can do it. I can do it here. Okay, if I want to draw inside, sorry about that. I know that was very loud, but if I want to draw inside the piano roll, I can do it that way. I can also draw in the automation lanes. So when I get that vocal part going, everybody say. Okay, notice how the volume automation went up and down because that's what I have it set on. So you can have it set on multiple different type of messages, but this particular one is just for volume. All right, I can Control Z that. Pattern. Okay, this one was a little weird for me to explain. Sometimes I didn't feel like it was working right, but I had chords up here on this track originally earlier, you know, if you saw it. So now I can double click and it will put in chords. So I already said the draw pattern was a little weird. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how that one works. You can let me know in the comments if you're already familiar with these tools. So the next one I have is drawing a line. This drawing a line is going to come in handy if I want to do automation that way. Then I can just draw straight lines and do it that way. Let me unmute that track. I'm sorry. Everybody. Okay, you can already tell the big difference with it. Control Z, or I could just clear everything. Good. Back to where we're at. Now the next option is draw sine wave. So sine wave is going to be cool because I can draw it like that, and then you'll hear it. Everybody I like that. Let's hear it again. Turn the volume up a little bit more. Everybody So that's such a cool effect. You might want to use it like for something that you're working on. So definitely check that one out. So these are some cool features, you all, that you can just kind of use in Cakewalk. I know this may not be for everyone. Some of you all was like, man, I just want to get and record something. But if you enjoy the tutorial, if it's any percentage of being helpful, definitely let me know in the comments below. I appreciate all the comments that I receive, you all. I love responding to them, and sometimes I hate when I can't be as helpful as I want to be. If you're new to the channel, I'm Justin Norm, by the way. I'm here just to kind of help you get into this home studio thing with Cakewalk. I'm going to be covering Cakewalk by Bandlab more, Cakewalk Sonar, Cakewalk next when they fully drop. I'm going to do those, and then I do other DAWs that I'm focusing on too as well that I'm going to slide up in here. This is the Poor Engineer shirt. If you like merch and you want to support, I think I have it available. And if you've enjoyed everything, definitely give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new.